Hello, I'm Evan, and I have Kevin and Alberto here with me. And the name of our project is Auction Up, and it is basically a auctioning website like eBay. So how did we collaborate when working on this? So for communication, we just texted through our phone and also through Discord. And for collaborating on code, we use GitHub. So how our process would work is if someone was able to work on the project way in advance before the due date, they would communicate to the rest of us what they were able to accomplish. But for 95% of our work on the project was all three of us working together at the same time. Me and Kevin lived together, but Alberto would join in on a Discord voice chat so we could talk in real time. And this project had three parts. So for the backend wireframe assignment, because this was Kevin's project idea, he was the visionary. He was the one that was making the calls on what features he wanted and did not want. Obviously, me and Alberto did help, but mainly it was Kevin who decided what was in or out. But still, me and Alberto still had a say in that. For backend implementation, I was kind of like the group lead, assigning roles or assigning tasks to different people. And for the front end implementation, Alberto was the group lead, doing the same thing.
All right, that brings us to our work steps. The first thing that we did was plan out our application. So we came up with the idea and with all the stuff that we wanted to put for it to be a part of. Then we did the API endpoints, which is where we took out all the features and basically decided which ones would need databases, and then that's how we planned out our endpoints. And then we implemented them using REST API. Then we planned out our UI using Figma and Draw.io. And then we finished that off with implementing that and making small tweaks to the backend as we saw fit.
So the technologies we use for this project is pretty much what Dogen had us do. You could read the slide to see. The only thing to that I should make you aware of is for the infrastructure, the bottom right here. So when we got to the front end, we moved away from having Docker run on our laptops to deploying Railway so that all three of our computers could be synced to one backend and one database for the for the backend. And that just made collaborating much easier. And we also thought it was more user friendly. So now we'll go to the demos.
Or you're muted.
My bad, I was muted. So I showed off the homepage and then I went into the register. So the first thing we're gonna do is register an account. So let's name this guy Joe Doe, and then let's make his email joe@email.com. And then the password is has to be 8 characters long. So we're gonna make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after you create it, you're gonna sign in. All right, so we're signed in. Um, First thing we're gonna do is go to the profile page. Um, you can edit your profile by changing the name. The email cannot be changed, but you can change the password. So let's like upload a profile picture. Let's use the shark. All right, so see the profile picture changes. And then these are some more features. You could see your listings, auctions you've won, and then also your reviews. So for creating a listing, first thing you gotta do is add a picture. So let's do an iPhone. You add a title and a description. You can enter a location if you want. Category, there's a bunch of categories, but this one is electronics. Starting bid, let's make it 1,000. And then reserve is also optional, but it's recommended. And then lastly, you set the time for your auction. So you can set it to end whenever you want, but we're gonna do Saturday, which is tomorrow. So it's uploaded and then it's gonna show up here on your listings and also as well as in the homepage. So another feature that we have is the bidding. So if we click on this auction, it's going to take you to this auctions page. It has the person who posted it, which is my actual account. Pictures, location, reserves, the current bid, and like a description is gonna be down here. So you can place bid right here. So let's see, it says you're currently winning the auction. And then I'm gonna have Kevin outbid me. And then if we try, if we refresh the page, I don't know why it signed me out. Let me go back to here. See, it says you're currently losing the auction. And then there's also a feature. We also implemented the search bar, so you could search for auctions. So for example, we could search up Optimus Prime, and then it's gonna load. Did I spell that wrong? No. See, we have two Optimus Primes. It shows you the two auctions, and then we have like filters over here, so you could change the filters for the price, and it actually works. And then there's the categories, location, and then you could filter the time left. Um, then Kevin just posted this. It's gonna be almost expiring, so we can check out how the winning looks like. So it's gonna end in 48 seconds, but you could place a bid. Okay, so I'm winning. And then we also implemented a contact seller, which is just gonna be like a messaging system. So you could say like, I I like your listing. Boom. And then up here, there's also like notifications. Like for example, when we bid on the iPhone, it tells you you've been outbid for the iPhone, and then it tells you the newest bid. And then you can see all your messages over here as well. And then we're just gonna wait for this to end. And then we can also see that Kevin responded and said thank you. So that updates as well. So the auction ended. So now if we go to our profile, see it says auctions you've won. So you can click here. And now you can leave a review. So let's just say he was like dishonest and this product was fake. So you can leave him a 1 star and say terrible, fake. And then if you go to that person's profile page, you can see his listings and then you could see his other reviews. So he had other 5 stars and then 1 star because I just left that. And then we have some more notifications. See, you can also see the congratulations, you won auction. And that's pretty much it. And then Kevin's going to take over for the admin.
So I'm about to share my screen, which will have the sign-in screen here, if you can see. The admin email and password admin@example.com, and it will be admin, no uppercase, 123. And once I sign in, I should be able to be in here. And as you can see, I'm an admin user. And what an admin can do is they can go to any listing, they can delete that listing even though it's not theirs, and they can go to profiles, which this review is obviously fake. So I will delete that profile and now it's gone. And I can also delete this and it should be gone from the home page. And now Joe Doe, he might be scamming. So I will go to his account and I will delete Joe. And now Joe Doe will be gone and he'll try to make another account to come back in. And I believe that's all for admin. Going on to the slides, here are a couple future ideas we can implement, like instead of just having the notification pop in on the top right, it can actually be emailed to the address to why we wanted the user to put in their address, so we can have some fun with that. And another, sorry, another thing we could do is users can have a watch list, so they can add items to their watch list and see how high the auction can go. And the third thing is encryption for our database, which we don't have right now, sadly. The fourth thing is integrating real money transactions. We don't have that installed. We didn't want to really go through that. And then admins can give user a strike where instead of just an instant ban, they can be put on strikes that they can see so they can try and have a second chance. The Another thing is automated moderation. Instead of having admins constantly patrol, we can have some bots just check and have some keywords highlighted like drugs, and then they can be immediately banned or taken off the site. And the last thing could implement is light mode. And that'll be all. Thank you for watching and have a good winter break.